from 1975, David Bowie and Young Americans. It's the Steve Show, BBC Six Music with me, Steve Merchant. And I cannot believe that I'm about to say this. I'm broadcasting live from New York, and we wanted to speak to a native New Yorker, and they don't come much bigger than this in every sense. Please welcome Mr. LL Cool J. A round of applause.
What's up?
LL, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What's happening, Steve?
Oh, wow, this is just such a thrill for me. Do I call you LL, or is it Mr. Cool J?
LL is fine, man. No need for formalities.
Brilliant. Now, where do we find you on a Sunday morning? What are you normally doing?
I'm in New York, and just head on my way to church, hanging out. I was in the studio late last night, having a lot of fun. Been working on a record, just having a good time.
Now, is this your new album, Exit 13?
Yeah, Exit 13 is the new record, and it's kind of like it's a lot of fun for me because it's been a really long time since I really buckled down and took my time and had fun making a record. So, I feel really good about this record. It's so much better than a lot of the records I put out in the last few years, just because I really concentrated and had a ball doing it. So.
Now, this is an album where it's quite extraordinary because you have been with Def Jam Records for, over 20 years. It's an extraordinary length of time. You've put out something like 13 albums, which in the hip-hop world, in any kind of music genre, that's a lot of albums to have put out. But this is the end of your Def Jam contract, is that right?
Yeah, it's the last record under my contract, but, we have a great relationship. And moving forward, I'm sure we'll figure out a way to work closely together. To just continue to support hip-hop culture and move it forward. But yeah, this record is hot too. I brought a lot of symphonic instruments in. I did different types of tracks. Like I have a track with Richie Sambora, and a track with Wyclef Jean, a track with Dream. A lot of different artists on there. So it's really an exciting record. I think when people hear it, they're going to be pretty surprised at how interesting it is.
Now, I'm a huge hip-hop fan, but I've got sort of no concept really of how you start putting together a hip-hop album. Do you sit down at home, you've got your slippers on, you've got a glass of hot milk, you just start writing the lyrics there, or how does it work? You go into the studio, you just start sort of rapping there? How do you work?
You know what? I usually just get a vision. I may collect a bunch of instrumental ideas, demo ideas, and collect them and kind of listen to them and see if they inspire me to create some lyrics or some words. And then if they do, I'll just continue to work on that and do an arrangement on it and, just take it to the next level until I have a piece of work that, you basically dream the paint and paint the dream. You know what I mean? And I just take my time and just have fun with it and just make what I love. That's basically the process. There's no real formula to it because it always happens differently. Sometimes I write at home, sometimes I write in the studio, mix it up.
Now, am I right in saying that you started on the album and then you weren't happy with some of the tracks, so you sort of started work again and you'd been working with 50 Cent, is that right?
Well, actually what it is that I made 2 albums before I actually created this record that I'm about to put out. The first record that I created for this project, I did a lot of songs with 50 Cent. He was the executive producer of that very first record that I worked on when I was trying to put this project together. I ultimately ended up using 2 or 3 songs from that record and then a few from the next until I actually created the album Exit 13 that I'm about to put out now.
Can we talk briefly about your early days? Because, as you say, it's been an extraordinary career. You've been around for such a long time. You've become such a sort of, an elder statesman of hip-hop, and yet you're obviously still very young. You still feel very connected to it. How did you kind of get started? What did you just... because hip-hop really was still in its infancy in a way.
Oh, yeah. Well, basically what happened was I became a fan of hip-hop at 9 years old when Grandmaster Flash and all of those groups first started emerging on the scene. The Grandmaster Flash, the Africa Bambatas, those early groups. By the time I was 12, I started writing my own songs. At 14, I decided I wanted to make a demo, a record. And then by 16, I ended up meeting up with Rick Rubin and Russell Simmons, and we formed the company Def Jam, and I was the flagship artist for that company, and we built that company into what it's become today.
And how did you kind of deal with that initial success? Because when you first came along, you were such a phenomenon, and you just so huge but so young at the same time. Did you cope well with the fame, the sudden fame, or did it sort of send you a little crazy for a while?
I think, you know, I don't think it ever really sent me completely crazy because, you know, I'm still here, but I definitely had a ball. You know what I mean? It was definitely like, you know, it was everything you could imagine and then some. But I think that I think I handled it pretty well. I think that I definitely was blessed and given something that I have the ability to handle. Like, it wasn't beyond my grasp.
And how do you feel, I mean, what do you put down to your longevity? What is it that has kept you going for so long and allowed you to put out so many albums? I mean, do you have a game plan, or do you just sort of, you know, go with each new record?
Loving the culture and remaining level-headed. Yeah. Not allowing the success to make me think of myself as above others, but allow myself to be connected to the people and still believing and understanding that it is the people that support what I do and appreciate what I do. So I never get like into the snob thing. I never get into the spoiled brat rock star thing. I kind of keep my feet on the ground. And the deeper the roots, the taller the tree can grow, you know?
And also, just briefly, I wanted to talk quickly about your movie work as well, because I've really enjoyed your movie performances and also your TV work. And how do you find acting? Is that something that you always wanted to do? You just suddenly found yourself as an actor?
Acting is just something that it just happened. You know, I was around a lot of movies. I was around a lot of movie sets. I was around a lot of people who were involved in acting, and I just started enjoying, acting, and then building those characters. It's kind of a cool way to kind of do something different. It gave me like a break from music, and then I ended up actually really enjoying it, and ended up doing much more film than I ever thought I would. And still to this day, I really enjoy it. Like, I just recently signed a deal with CBS. I have a drama that'll be coming out on the CBS network in the States and ultimately around the world. And it's like a cop show kind of thing. It's going to be hot.
And now you are obviously famously cool. The word "cool" obviously in your name. I am perhaps not as cool, LL, if I'm being completely honest. I like to think I am. I just bought myself a pretty funky new hat. But what's your secret? What's your secret? What advice can you give to a 6'7", pasty white guy from Middle England? How do I act cool?
How do I act cool? I think you're a funny guy. Now, if I said tan, that would be funny. But I think you gotta just be yourself. I think.
But I've tried that, LL, and it's not working.
The eye of the beholder. You know what I mean?
Well,
probably a few people who don't think I'm cool, but that's all right too. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta be who you are.
I don't want to embarrass you, but I have been known in the past to rap. LL, I don't want you to feel uncomfortable.
Get in where you fit in.
Would you mind if I just gave you a couple of rhymes?
I mean, if you're going to twist my arm, yeah, go ahead, give me a little bit.
But I don't want you to feel in any way this is disrespectful. I am doing my best. I'm just perhaps not naturally as gifted as you. Here it comes.
Okay, let's hear it.
All right, here it goes. Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years, rocking my peers and putting suckers in fear, making the tears rain down like a monsoon. Listen to the bass go boom. Explosion, overpowering, over the competition I'm towering. Wrecking shop when I drop these lyrics that'll make you call the cops. Don't you dare stare, you better move, don't ever compare. Me to the rest of the lot get sliced and diced. Competition paying the price, I'm gonna knock you out.
Stop. You're gonna get me put out of business. You sound too good.
Were you pretty impressed by that?
Yeah, you sound hot, man. I mean, I hope Russell's listening. He want to sign you.
Listen, when you're making your next record, if you need someone in just to maybe lay down some stuff with you, just in the studio, I'm more than happy to come over.
Absolutely, man. Your flow's impeccable, man. Incredible.
Did you hear that, everyone? My flow is impeccable.
Impeccable.
Listen, we're going to play a track from your new album. It's called Cry. Can you tell us a little bit about this track?
Your flow is inscrutable. The Cry record is actually just, it's one of the songs on the album. It's very much kind of it's just an ode to like a guy and a man and a woman's relationship, and how he'll do anything and go crawl over any obstacle, go beyond to any level and any extent to make sure that his woman is happy and taken care of. And he's just going all out for the one that he loves. And this is one of the songs on the album. It's actually probably the most conventional record that I have, song rather, that I have on the record. I think the record gets much more experimental and even more exciting as we go forward. But this is still a really cool record, and it's called Cry with Little Mo, and I think she did a great job vocally on the record.
It features Lil Mo?
Lil Mo.
Little Mo. Okay, wow.
Not
Little Mo from EastEnders.
Huh?
Not Little Mo from EastEnders. We have a TV show over here called EastEnders. I'm sure there's a character called Little Mo.
Well, that's them boys and what's them girls. What is that record?
So, Ella, when can we expect the album? When's it going to be in the shops?
The album will be out the end of July, early August, probably like July 28th or something like that, tentatively. And like I said, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of flavor on the record, and I really hope that people enjoy it as much as I enjoy creating the music, because the material definitely is worth checking out. I think it's going to be hot. You know what I'm saying? It's just a matter of it being exposed and people getting an opportunity to hear it and trusting me when I tell them that this is a much better record than I put out in many years. I really do mean that. I'm not just saying that.
Ella, we're looking forward to it enormously. It's such an honour and a pleasure to speak to you. Thank you so much for getting on the phone with us.
Thank you, man. Your flow's impeccable, man.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. That does actually mean a lot.
Much love, man.
Lots of love to you as well. Round of applause, please, for LL Cool J. We'll play Cry. Here it is.